Re-Entering Society and the Things They Carried by Bosch-Windemuller. There were many ways that Vietnam veterans struggled to return home. In the things they carried, Norman Bowker struggled a lot. When he returned home, he had lots of feelings that he didn't know what to do with. He also didn't have anyone to talk about them with. Nobody even really asked him about the war. There's no one around for Bowker to talk to. Everyone's moved away. His old girlfriend Sally is married with another man and happy. His father just sits and watches baseball on TV and didn't really care to ask Norman about the war. He really ended up not knowing what to feel. He described it as the town could not talk and would not listen. How'd you like to hear about the war? I might have asked, but the place could only blink and shrug. Norman also had some PTSD from the war. One of the things that impacted him a lot trying to re-enter society was his guilt for Kiowa's death. He had grabbed his arm and was almost about to pull him out, but it smelled so bad he just couldn't take it and he let go. 3 years after the war, Norman hung himself and wrote a 17-page paper to O'Brien about how he could not adjust back to life in the United States after the war. He had gone through many jobs and could not find anything stable, and he also just didn't have anyone to talk to about the war. Approximately 2.6 million people served in Vietnam. Of the entire 37 million, the population there have been approximately 152,000 suicides. Other soldiers took the war different, like Tim O'Brien. The war still got to Tim, but not in the way like it did to Norman. Tim became a writer so he could deal with the feelings that he had about the war. He could talk about them to himself or just write about them whenever he wanted. Tim also had very accepting parents that talked with him about the war, and he didn't come home to his girlfriend already being married and gone and happy. Tim was more able to catch up with society, unlike Norman, who felt stuck and couldn't seem to find a job or a purpose in society. Tim did still struggle with stuff in the war. Like when he would kill someone, he would have to make up an entire story for that person so that it almost seemed like that person never died to him. One day he was talking to his dad. He said, "Dad, tell you the truth, people can say, 'Did you ever kill anybody?' And I can honestly say, 'Of course not.' Or I can honestly say yes, because he has killed the people, but he also made them a story, so it's almost like he did not kill them." Jimmy Cross also took returning home differently than Tim and Norman. He goes and talks to Tim about why he's so off of it, because he's mad. He feels responsible for Ted Lavender's death. Because he was distracted by a picture of his girl, his friend got zapped while zipping. This bothered him quite a bit. Cross's guilt intensifies every time one of his men get killed. He can't get over Ted Lavender's death because he was distracted by that stupid picture, so he feels responsible for it. He says, "I had loved Martha more than my men." And as a consequence, Ted Lavender is now dead. And this was something he would have to carry like a stone in his stomach for the rest of his life, and after the war, once he returned home. He struggled with this thought a lot.
Got back, Camp Pendleton, California, and it was like, what happened? They made a wrong turn. Because, you hear all the chatter about the people out there, man, that was spitting on the Marines and on all the troops, all the veterans. We're on the wrong planet. Maybe they made a mistake. I mean, that's what ran through my head. And I was like, ah. So get home, they said, "Hey, don't go home in uniform." I was like, come on. They said, "Hey, don't go home." Guys were throwing the uniforms off, coming in civilian clothes. And I remember I got home in New York and got a cab, and I said I was going to surprise my mother getting early. And I said, "Wow, place sure has changed." I said, "Been in Vietnam." And the guy says, "And so?" Oh, I'm the cab driver. I was like, okay. So I get back and I said, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and get me a job and stuff." And I remember I was in there and told my mother, I said, "Well, I'm hanging out here for a little while and then I'm going to probably get my own place." I was still trying to find out what was going on.